T-Man 978 Chill Review.
Hello everyone, T-Man 978, bringing you what is most definitely, probably, it is. It's a KO version of the Good Smile Company's Nendoroid Link Wind Waker version. When I decided to buy on eBay from China for an awesome price, because I'm a very thrifty dude. I thought I was getting the real version because I looked over everything and nothing said KO, and usually for Transformers they'll at least put somewhere in the description KO. But this guy, they didn't do that. And a lot of things make me think that it possibly really is a KO, like some of the packaging. Like, I don't know how it's going to look on camera, but some of the text just looks washed out, and they sent it to me like in basically a bubble pack, so it did get bent up. But some of this font just looks sloppy and Xeroxed. Anyway, here are the details on this package. It has a little window that says the Wind Waker version link. You see stuff like this, you see stuff like this, letting you know basically what's in the box. Stuff like this on the top, and basically that's it for the box. Inside, it came with this sheet right here, which I guess we could give the Good Smile Company a shout out since I don't have any other official products. It says this: cute to look at, fun to play with, and great to collect, Nendoroids. It's blue on this side, but inside the packaging facing you, it is plain brown box. It has this plastic clamshell with all the pieces and whatnot, but it doesn't come with this. But I'll show them off as I get into the figure. Now this guy, and what I guess Nendoroids go for, they're supposed to be like deformed versions of popular characters, but in Toon Link's case, or Wind Waker Link, you basically can't tell the difference because he's already a super deformed character. But anyway, this isn't as much of an action figure as it is like a model or model kit. I mean, it is posable and does have joints, but can't really call it an action figure. Look at these little feet. No, he cannot stand up on his own. In fact, the bottom of his feet is like completely rounded, so getting him to stand will not be a possibility without this little stand thing right here. This goes into his back, and these different ports down here seem to be different sizes and shapes. I don't know if the camera's going to be able to focus on them, but only certain spots can actually fit this peg. Other ones don't. So you just have to mess around till you get to a tight one, and here's a tight one. As far as Link, if it's a KO, it's very high quality. This is thick, heavy plastic, especially this head right here. Only like glaring issues I see is the paint is sloppy on the back of his hair right here. You can see the green underneath. The legs, some of the paint isn't the most cleanest. Come on, focus on him. He's the only thing in here. But he's rather good. The eyes has like a blue tint over the top. The real version has that. I don't know if it looks better on the real version or the non-KO version, but it looks decent. If I have any gripe with this figure, and I don't know if the non-KO version is better, this is a different skin tone or a different color than his actual flesh tone. I wish they would have painted that, or I wish it was molded in this same plastic that the face is molded in, because it's very yellow. And he has these universal joints like in his legs, his neck. Yeah, just his legs and his neck. but he doesn't have them in his shoulders, and that is a bummer. He just has these pegs, so these arms tend to come out very, very easy. He doesn't have them in his wrist or anything either. He's very similar to my Figma Link here as far as those universal joints, but even the face switches out sort of like that Figma guy, but there's one difference. The little joint actually sticks into the bottom of the head instead of like the face covering the joint. So each one has a hole right down there. So let me show you guys this guy's base articulation. This universal joint right here can let him look down about that much, up about that much. If you twist it around, he can actually rock his head to the side just like he's looking up and down. Now, it's a bit difficult, so you might have to take it off, put it back in, and then get him to be able to rock his head left and right and whatnot. But other than that, the back of his little hat can turn which way you want the wind to be blowing. The arms can rotate 360 right there. The little hands can rotate. The waist rotates, is a little peg right there. Underneath of his tunic skirt, the actual crotch and butt area right there can actually rotate. The legs are on this universal joint, so they can spin around and kick out and whatnot. But they are a little bit tight on the bottom right there, so if you wanted to twist a certain type of way, you'll have to twist the joint, take the leg off, and then put it back on. So posing this dude is a lot of work. But let me break him down to his base form. Like, this joint can come out of there, but I'm not going to do that. It's very difficult. This can separate from here. The little crotch can come out from underneath of the tunic skirt. There's a little arrow pointing to where his front of his crotch is, if you forget. If you want to, the arms can come out, the hands come out. The face, when you want to change that, you have to pull the hair off, pull the face out of the back of the hat, and then you have to pull this little peg out and grab a new face. So let me do that and put them back together. Here I swapped out his regular straight legs for his more action, running, jumping, attacking legs. And I gave him his action hands, and I changed his face. This is the face he came packaged with, his basic neutral face. He has a little shield with a handle right here that's on a little ball that can be moved around for different poses and whatnot. I can just slide right into this hole in his hand. So he could be holding his shield. It honestly looks awkward from the side the way he holds it. He doesn't have bending elbows. He does have a bent elbow arm, mostly for the Wind Waker pose. I could use that, and I'll probably use that a little bit later. But from straight on, it looks good and looks neat. This little sword, which is his basic sword, not the master sword. You pop this little handle off, and it does have that same swirly design that it had in the game. Come on, focus on it. But you pull that off, stick it into his hand. And one issue I'm going to admit that I have on this, these legs are kind of loose. I don't know if everyone's KO copy is going to be like that, but mine's are. I mean, with KOs I always hear different stuff, like some are super tight, some are perfect, some are identical to the original, but then you'll have some with slightly less quality. But basically, here you go with this. You can hold the sword, or you can hold his hand down like this with the sword. And the way the handle bends, you can do a pose like this and have it a little bit more down instead of covering up here, and look a little bit more natural. I'm not honestly sure if I put these arms on right. I might have put the arms on backward. But let me try out some other faces. Here's his attacking face, and I switched the fist to the more downward swiping fist so it can look like he's actually swiping down, attacking. And I did a swiping down motion off camera, like you guys can see that. But this stand is good for things like that, and the way the head bends, he can actually like look forward and whatnot. But my main problem still are these shoulders, because they aren't on a ball joint. It's very hard to get them dynamic, but you can twist his legs and whatnot and try to do your best at posing them. Let me give him some bent arms. Or actually, while he's here in this position or in this pose, you can stick this little piece right here onto his sword and give him a little slashing effect. And I've never looked at it like this, like up against his body, and that does look very cool. But I guess you're supposed to, if this thing will cooperate with me, you're supposed to have it like at a swiping outward type motion. Like basically, here's what I was talking about. And to be completely honest, completely 100, I've been playing with this thing for a couple of days, but the more I play with it and the more I'm doing it right now in this review, the more the quality is just degrading. It's like certain things that have been tight and good and I was cool with are starting to get very loose. Like the fact this little gold thing on his belt is falling off now, and I need to glue that back on because there's no reason to take that off, but gluing that is simple and not too big of a deal. Well, let me try the last face. Well, actually, before I get to the last face, this didn't come with an instruction manual, but the inner flap shows a picture showing that this little ball joint right here is supposed to support this little effect right there. But sheesh. This peg hole is very loose. Like I said, it was tight at first, but it's very loose on me now. Here he is with his suspicious face, bent arms, bent legs, and it's good for that wall sidling pose that he does in the game. So there's that. Here he is with his final two hands wielding the Wind Waker. Let's do a close-up on the Wind Waker. Just to paint it in like a off-white paint. It does slide out of the fist. I just noticed that it's an ugly bubble on that hand. I didn't notice that till just now. This hand is shaped like that. It's bent. I guess he's guiding his Wind Waker, but he can't actually hold anything with that hand. And the final thing for me to show off is this little heart that you would get in the game. It has this little stand piece right here. I guess this goes into the back of here, so it can be like hovering above Link. But what I can't figure out, or what I haven't been able to figure out, I guess it goes here. So you put that there, and these are not permanently connected. And if you put his other hands on, which I don't feel like doing because this is running way longer than I thought, you could have him like acting like he just found it with his hands up in the air like da 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 da. But anywho, for a closer look at this heart itself, this is the main thing that let me know that this is a KO. It's covered in KO mode flash that just is way cheap and unprofessional. And some of the paint is actually bleeding onto the red part of the transparent plastic right here. I think all of this is transparent plastic, but it's bleeding onto the actual heart area, which is not a very good look. So in the end, problems with looseness aside, because I can actually fix that, I'm actually satisfied with this thing. I paid less than $20 for it, And the real version goes for about $50. They've been selling this in GameStop, actually, and it's $50 in there. So this thing is damn near perfect to the original, and I don't need the original. I don't care. It's for my enjoyment. So I'm satisfied with it. It's cool. One thing to note, it's not that fun to change these pieces around when you want a different pose. So it's definitely not a toy. And on the box, it actually says for ages 15 and up. So yeah, I don't know if I would recommend this for a child, but more of a Link fan or Zelda fan. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. Thanks for clicking this. Thanks for sitting through the whole video. T-Man978 out of here.